Very often, the difference between sounding really good in Spanish or sounding like a total beginner is not vocabulary at all. Sometimes it's just the word order. Same words, wrong order, and it just sounds off. So I'm going to show you 6 very typical patterns that flip between English and Spanish. Once you see them and learn to put them in the right order, you'll start sounding much better and natural even as a beginner or intermediate speaker. And these are not random exceptions, these are actual rules that you can learn once and reuse 1,000 times. So it's really worth 8 minutes of your time to boost your Spanish forever, in a really easy way. So stay until the end because I'm pretty sure you don't know at least one of them. Let's start with number 1. Pattern number 1 is the negation, the not after a verb. In Spanish, the word no always goes before the verb, like don't in English. I don't eat pasta, yo no como pasta. That's it, easy, right? However, in English, not every verb works like that. And not goes after some verbs. I'm talking about the verb to be, I am not, the verb to have, I have no, the verb can, I cannot, and there is, there are not. So here's the mistake I see constantly. People, especially English speakers, build the sentence in English first, with the English order of words, and then they put no after the verb as well. So when they say, I am not stupid, they say, yo soy no estúpido, which in Spanish is wrong. No always comes before the verb, full stop. Yo no soy estúpido. Same with tener and poder, to have, can. I have no time. Yo tengo no tiempo. No. Yo no tengo tiempo. And I cannot come. Yo puedo no venir. No. Yo no puedo venir. No before the verb. The same happens with hay. There is, there are. There is no bread or there isn't any bread. Hay no pan. No. No hay pan before hay. Alright, so a quick check. How would you say María is not happy? Is it María es no feliz or María no es feliz? What do you think? Exactly. If you said María no es feliz, that's exactly right. You got it. So let's see the pattern number 2. Adjective plus a noun. In English, the describing word comes before the noun. In Spanish, it usually comes after. So when you say red car, rojo coche, no. Coche rojo. White house, casa blanca. House white. We flip the words. Big city, ciudad grande. Description after the noun. A few adjectives like bueno, grande can go before the noun, like buen amigo, good friend, or gran casa, big house. But that's to express emphasis on the adjective or change the meaning slightly. But that's a nuance for a later video. 95% of the time, adjective goes after the noun. Pattern number 3, the possession, the ownership. In English, the owner comes first. My father's car. In Spanish, the apostrophe S doesn't exist, and the object comes first, and the owner last. And they are connected by de. So my father's car is not mi padre coche. We do the object first. El coche de mi padre. Or my sister's phone. Mi hermana teléfono, no. El teléfono de mi hermana. My friend's house. La casa de mi amigo. Think of it as saying in English, the house of my friend, or the car of my dad. That's how we say it in Spanish. Alright, pattern number 4, ago, when we talk about time in the past. In English, ago goes at the end of the phrase. In Spanish, we use the word hace, and it goes at the beginning of the phrase, before the number. So it's a complete opposite. The mistake I see all the time is people saying the number and then squeezing hace after that. No, before the number. Like 5 years ago, 5 años hace, no, hace 5 años. Or 2 days ago, hace 2 días. A month ago, hace un mes. So in English, you close with ago. In Spanish, you open with hace. Do you see how easy that is? It looks like a small change, but to us, it feels like a big improvement on your part. Imagine if I said, ago 3 days, you would feel like, okay, but not okay. So now you know how to do it. Pattern number 5, the direct object pronoun. I know those words already trigger something in you that you don't like, but hear me out, it's not that difficult. Because in English, the direct object pronoun goes after the verb, but in Spanish goes before. And I know this one is one of the hardest ones to internalize, because you are thinking in English and building phrases in English, and your brain wants to leave the object pronoun for the end, but don't do that in Spanish. The trick is, whenever you feel like you're gonna say it, him, her, me, just say it right before the verb. So if you wanna say, I saw her, yo vi a ella, no, yo la vi. That la means her. I want it, yo lo quiero, before the verb, not yo quiero lo. Or I love you, yo quiero ti, yo quiero te, no, yo te quiero, right before the verb. You see how it works? English says the action first and then whom or what. Spanish says whom or what before the verb. That's it. There are a couple of notes here. For example, commands. When we do a command, we put the pronoun together with the verb at the end. So after the verb, right after the verb. Like llámame, call me. Or llámala, call her. But if you want a whole video about direct and indirect object pronouns and how they work, let me know in the comments and I will make one just about this, because there is more to it. And another note is, this only works with the pronouns, not if we actually mention the object by name. For example, I saw her, yo la vi. But I saw Maria, yo vi a Maria. In that case, when we mention the name, it actually follows the same structure as in English. We keep the object at the end. So this rule only applies to pronouns. Very important. And books seem to forget to mention this. And that's why I think a lot of people get confused. All right, so let's give it a try. How do we say, I know him? Yo conozco a él o yo lo conozco? If you said yo lo conozco, you were right. So let's jump to pattern number 6, the W question words, like when, where, what, which, like what do you want, or where do you live. In Spanish, the question word comes first too, but the subject is a bit flexible. You can put it at the end after the verb, or at the beginning before the question word. It's not very common to put it in the same place as in English. So where do you live? In Spanish, it's not normally ¿Dónde tú vives? It's either ¿Dónde vives tú? Or tú, ¿dónde vives? Beginning or end. Normally not in the middle, although there are some countries in the Caribbean, especially area, where they like to ask like that. ¿Dónde tú vives? But that's not the most common way to build a phrase in Spanish. Or you can even just leave the subject completely out of the phrase. ¿Dónde vives? Because as you know, vives already means you live, so you don't need to say tú at all. Alright, so let's run through all 6 patterns that we have seen today. So we have the negation, no, always before the verb, doesn't matter which verb, even the verb to be, to have, like yo no soy doctor, I'm not a doctor. Number 2, adjectives after nouns, coche rojo and not rojo coche, like in English. The possession flips and we use the object first and the owner after, connected by de, so la casa de mi padre and not mi padre casa, my father's house. Ago becomes hace and it opens the sentence, so hace 5 días, 5 days ago. The direct object pronouns before the verb, so yo la llamé, I called her, not yo llamo la or yo llamo a ella, no. And W questions, the subject is flexible, or open or close the question. ¿Tú dónde vives? Or ¿dónde vives tú? Or you don't use it at all. ¿Dónde vives? That's it. So now it's your turn. Answer in the comments, how would you say my friend's car and I have no money? I put all 6 patterns in a PDF for our Patreon family members that you can download on our page. As usual, the link is below, and if you liked the video and found it useful, please consider subscribing, because that really helps me make more free content for everybody. And if you have any comments or questions, you know what to do. Hasta luego!